So, ladies and gentlemen, this city, Afrodisia, was built in the 5th century before Christ. It is a city more than 2,500 years old, but today it is an ancient city, and this city is famous with the cult of Aphrodite. Yesterday we were in Ephesus, and Ephesus' goddess was Artemis, and here is Aphrodite. And the city's name is also connected with Aphrodite, Afrodisias. And Afrodisias, the name in the Roman time, was changed to Venus. Venus is the Venus. She is the goddess of beauty. She is the goddess of fertility, and she is everywhere in the cities venerated with a statue. And this city was also famous with sculpture. You could see a lot of sarcophagus, a lot of products, because we will visit here a school, and this school is a sculpture school from Afrodisia. They had a lot of marmor from the mountain Babada, Father Bear, and they used this marble to statues, to sarcophagus, and built all the city with this nice, with this nice works. And also other cities make orders from Afrodisias for statues, for other products. And the name from Afrodisias was later changed because the religion changed from Aphrodite cult to Christianity, and it was not possible to stay with the same name Afrodisias because it's new religion. And then the name was changed in the 8th century after Christ to Stavropolis. Stavro. What means Stavro? Cross. The city of the cross. The city of the cross. It was changed. And the main building, the most important and most productive building here in this city was the temple of Aphrodite. The temple. We will visit at first this area from the temple. It was a very, very big area, and we saw yesterday only one column from Artemis temple. But here we could see more. Because they used this temple. They used this temple later in Christianity as a church. They used this temple as a church, and this is the reason why we could see more in compared to yesterday. They don't use the Artemis temple, and they use the stones to build a church, to build a mosque or a castle. But here they use this temple, they converted the temple to a church. In Antalya, in the old town from Antalya, there is a old building, and this old building was originally a temple. Then in the Christianity they built this temple to a church, and then later the Ottomans built this church to a mosque.
Okay.
3 gods was venerated, prayed in this building. And when the visitors 2,000 years ago, the pilgrims visited this area, they were fascinated from the big gate. It is kind of golden gate here, and we call this gate tetrapylon. It means tetra is 4 with 4 columns. 4 columns. 4 times 4, 16 columns was the entrance to the main yard from the temple. And thousands of people visited this place. The reason was this cult, this religion here in Afrodisia. And next to this temple, nearly next to this temple, it was a school, a sculpture school. They worked with marble, they worked with tools, and they made statues from Aphrodite, made statues from, you will see later in the museum, there are special products of statues and made here in Afrodisias. They said also the products in Pergamum was built here in Afrodisias and sent to Pergamum maybe. And we are here more than 650 meters high from sea level, and the marble mountain Babada is very important. And this is the inside of the temple. They used it after the 4th century as a church. You could see they built the apsis inside from the temple. It was covered with a roof. But in the 5th century and 7th century, 2 big earthquakes destroyed the city. 2 big earthquakes, and not only the buildings are destroyed, but also under the city is a new water table. And everywhere comes water. This was the problem, like yesterday by Artemis temple. After the earthquake, the water table was changed, altered, and everywhere when they make a hole in the ground, water comes. Water comes. It was not anymore deep. And the first settlement from Afrodisias was on the hill, on the top of the green hill there, in the Bronze Age. In the Bronze Age, 4,000 years before Christ, the people came here to this area and settled down. But this city was founded in the 4th, 5th century before Christ. And we visited the Turtle Beach, and by the Turtle Beach we saw the king graves. And I told you the river is the border between Lycia and Caria. And Kaunos, the city Kaunos, was the city directly at the sea, but after the city was not anymore a harbor city because of the illnesses like malaria, everywhere was swamps and marshes, the people came in the hinterland of Caria and settled here this area. Therefore, is also the name Caria. This is the hinterland from Caria, and Kaunos is the coast from Caria. And later, when they used this building as a church, it was the name of the city also changed to Stavropolis. After the Christianity, a lot of changing, a lot of reforms, a lot of new rules were occurred in the Roman time. They closed the theater for the games. They closed the stadions for the games, and they closed the temples because everything was related to the old gods, to the mythological gods, to Aphrodite, to Apollo, to Hercules, and they cut the tradition and open a new book, a new chapter with Christianity. Yeah. Different orders between the columns, and this different is not the column, is the capital. Three different capitals, and we have three main capitals, three main orders. The simples, the first order is the Doric order, very simple, without ornament. Doris, yes, Dor order. It's very simple. And the second one is the Ionian order. And by the Ionian order, you will see two round scrolls, volutes, like a horn from a steer, like a horn. Yes. But later they changed another third order to Corinthian order. By the Corinthian order, you will see leaves from a plant with the name acanthus leaves. This is acanthus leaf, acanthus plant. Yes. But later they combined Ionic and Corinthic together. Then sometimes you will see leaves and scrolls together. And this is composite, mixed. These four orders we will see a lot. And Ionic is the region around from Ephesus, Ionia. Ionia is the name from the region. And here you will see acanthus leaves. This is the tetrapylon. And normally Celsus library. It is only the name from this founder. He was a governor, he was a proconsul, he had a lot of money, and he gave his son the duty to build a library, and he want to bury it in the library. It is also a kind of mausoleum. Mausoleum library together. He was buried inside. There is the grave chamber, funeral chamber, and this structure was re-erected again. 1970, 1978, 8 years, the archaeologists together with other disciples, they tried to build this structure again. It was built in 8 years. It was totally broken. The facade was totally broken. Only the structure behind was remained. And they totally erected this building again, and they used original parts and new parts. You could see the difference between old and new, yes. And this library is like a stage building from a theater. It's similar, the facade from theater. And across from the library, you could see there the so-called house of pleasure.
The house of
The
pleasure.
so-called house of pleasure. The so-called. It's not sure, not 100% sure if it is or not. This is the house of pleasure. Another rumor is that is an underway connection between the library and the house of pleasure. Yes. And the nice beautiful ladies, the nice beautiful woman, you must go to the junction. To the junction, yes. To the junction. There are nice ladies on the left from the junction, and you can leave your heart by these ladies. But you need money? You need money. It is not free. Not free. Yes. And it was also enlightened with light in the night. And we call this part of the city red light part of the city. Yes. Example, the other structure is not here, and here was the two parts of connection from this iron and stick, and they broke this area. Here are some iron traces. Yes, some iron traces, and it is same. Here is iron. You could see here, and they robbed this material. It was a valuable material. They used it for other kind of structures, and to link leads inside, they built here a kind of place. The lead is going down this way and covered all the iron sticks.
Yeah.
In the theater, and they need some wild animals to keep outside before the games, and they must change the animals here on this very place. For example, maybe a lion, maybe a bear, or another kind of wild animal, or a prisoner, for example. Yes, because they had a lot of slaves, a lot of prisoners, and they must wait outside before they start with their games. Yes.